Hello, this is Pestleman 1951 again, and some of you folks will have seen my previous R-rated Pestles video. I'm not going to bore you with that one again. Today I'm going to do Manos, and I've been making some boastful claims about it, and I've got a few people challenging me to do it, so here we go, a la Mr. Rick Challenge Series. Manos, of which I have about 8 5-gallon buckets full besides this one. But okay, now here is a totally different category that most people have never seen. This is a pesto. It's got testicular ends on both sides and a very clear mano surface on that one. I think it's got one over there too, yeah. And but now with Manos, yeah, here's another pesto, incidentally. It's got a little damage on that side where it was hit by a plow, but you know, you basically got about 4 varieties of Manos. You've got your you know, guys like this one here, which are, this is pretty well used up. When this thing was first made, it was about as thick as a loaf of bread. And you can see how long it's worn out. It basically, I have a feeling that some women maybe used one Mano or 1 or 2 Manos for most of their lives. And then you've got the let's see, you've got your basic where are my soap bars at? You've got your soap bar style, and I'm embarrassed to say I can't put my hands on one right this minute, so I'll keep looking for later. Yeah, here's one that's kind of got that soap bar look on it. It's got the edges. This one here came out of was embedded in an asphaltum seat, and that's why it's got all this stuff, black junk on it here. And it was probably at the asphaltum seat because that's where they like to, you know, they probably were busting up the old asphaltum to use it to dry. They powder it and drop it inside baskets, and then drop hot rocks in there, you know, hot camp stones, and roll them around, and it seals the inside of a basket. Gets a real good seal on it. But well, okay, we're going to let the other styles go for now, because really the more everyone has seen soap bar and your basic, you know, flat squarish, or, you know, flat kind of roundish sort of Mano. Everyone's seen buckets of those, I'm sure. So I'm going to go outside now, and we're going to look at some other types of people. In my video, I made the mistake of mentioning that I had a bunch of stone bowls, portable mortars, and Metates outside, and a lot of people have been asking me to get a look at those. So that's where we're going now, gang. Hang with me, tubers. Well, here we go, tubers. There's a start on some Metates, and over here is a bunch of rocks I've got of just every type and description. I really apologize for all my stuff being in such a mess like this. I basically never let that sort of thing happen at my old house, but had a bad accident a few years back and spent the first year having near-death experiences about every month or month and a half, and now I'm a year or so past that, and we had to move and everything. I used to have a beautiful rock garden with all this stuff here. This here is just a bunch of cool little blanks and just work stones out of North Carolina. And over here's some Metates. Now, I've got basically an inordinate amount of Metates compared to most collectors, but that's because I'm a lunatic. Okay, that's just all there is to it. I'll give you an example. Okay, like when see this rock right here? When I walked over, you can see the brown line right here. Of this much was sticking out of the ground, and I looked a long time. Oh, I'm losing my battery. Okay, back to my rock story. So I was hiking along this trail, and saw this rock that just kind of fascinated me. It was kind of weird because it had a big plant, a big, sagebrushy kind of plant growing all over the top of it. And but it had this much right here showing. And so I stopped and just started whacking at it with my rock hammer to dig it out. And all the guys that I was with are just giving me a real hard time going, "Are you nuts? What are you doing? What are you doing?" And they went on ahead to go find arrowheads and stuff. And I stayed where I was for about another 30 minutes digging away. And when I did, this here is what came out. I don't know how this is really getting, but do you see all of that beautiful pecking inside here? This metate, which is a very common shape for metates, they typically set cross-legged right up here with this part here kind of sticking into the, crotch area. And this one here had been freshly pecked and just put away for the summer or whatever. I mean, it is absolutely the only pristine metate I've ever seen in my life. Now, over here is a type of metate that's pretty rare. It's called the railed metate. It's got these edges on the side here where they use a mano that's smaller than it, and they just go straight back and forward. There's no round going round version, no going round motion or anything like that. And here was the very first metate I ever found, and it's was just totally sitting up out on a big old rock next to a tiny little creek that was just running down the side of a canyon. It wasn't even really a creek, it was just kind of like a little spring, and this thing was just sitting out there, and it was, when I walked up on it, it was holding water all through, oh darn, my mistake, all through this area here. It was just sitting there with a pool of water in it, and I thought, good Lord, there's been a metate sitting there in plain sight for probably 200 years, and probably 100 people have walked by and looked at that and just thought, oh, that's some kind of little rock with a depression in it, like a bird bath, naturally occurring bird bath or something.